This is a lecture from Open Tuition. For the free slides that go with this podcast, please visit opentuition.com.
If a good system of internal control is not in place, and if corporate governance is not operating correctly, then there's a much higher chance that fraud will occur, and this has got serious implications. First, financial. The company may find it hasn't made the profit it thought. It may have lost assets. It might have a liquidity crisis. Most fraud means removing assets from a company, and of course this will adversely affect its performance. At a higher level, directors sometimes commit fraud to misrepresent how the company is actually doing. And there have been several high-profile events recently where financial institutions have pretended to be in a much better situation than they actually were. If the finances of the company are incorrectly recorded, then incorrect decisions could be made. The company might decide to expand when in fact the cash is not there. Or it may think a particular cost is very high, but that cost has artificially been boosted because of a fraud. And finally, the reputation of the company can be badly affected, and indeed many companies, for relatively minor frauds, prefer to keep these secret. It doesn't look good if the directors have to admit that someone has been defrauding the company over a number of years. It rather makes people ask, what have the directors been doing? How competent are they? Do we want to have dealings with that company? Preventing and detecting fraud depends on the following. First, a good internal control system. As we said before, make sure that overtime payments are authorized, purchases are authorized, invoices are cancelled, bank reconciliations are performed, and so on. This makes it much more difficult that either innocent or deliberate manipulation of figures can occur. Part of the internal control system will be internal audit. This is a team of people within the organization whose function is to go around the organization checking that the system of internal control is effective and being operated as expected. Secondly, ethics. It goes without saying that if everyone within a company is of a high ethical standard, fraud will not be committed. It's therefore essential to emphasize the role of ethics. This is particularly important at the higher levels of the company, where managers might be induced to misrepresent figures so the company appears to be doing well. Both control systems and ethics depend on training. If training is not given, how will people know how to act appropriately, either to act in line with the internal control system as set down, or how to deal with ethical dilemmas, which can sometimes mean asking for help and advice. Finally, in this section, we have to see who is responsible for what. The directors are responsible for setting up the system of internal control, for ensuring that the proper information from management control is provided, and for producing the financial statements. The external auditors are responsible for auditing the financial statements. They will carry out their audit procedures to collect evidence that the financial statements are presenting a true and fair view. In the course of that examination, they might rely on the system of internal control which is in place, and if this is inadequate, they will write a report to the directors advising them about how it could be changed. The external auditors are not responsible for setting up and maintaining the system of internal control, nor are they responsible for providing management information, nor are they responsible for producing the financial statements.